Every one of these lies costs you something, months of training with nothing to show for it. Believe even one of these and you'll build your entire approach on false promises. The foundations crack and the results never come. I've coached over 2,000 men in the last 15 years. I've had the same conversations and I've seen the same confusion. So let's go. Myth number 1, I do fine on 6 hours of sleep. No, you don't. You've adapted to feeling worse than you should. That's not the same as being fine. Sleeping under 7 hours drops testosterone production within one single week, according to research from the University of Chicago tracking young, healthy men on restricted sleep. And cortisol rises too, making you feel more anxious, more stressed, and stuck with that stubborn fat. The body kept the receipts even if you stopped noticing the symptoms. Do this instead. Track your sleep for just 7 days using a wearable or a simple notes app. Not how you feel, the actual number. Most men are shocked at the gap between what they assume and what's actually real. Myth number 2, cardio kills your gains. This one survives because it feels true if your cardio protocol is wrong. And for most men, it is. Excessive, poorly programmed cardio on top of inadequate recovery will absolutely blunt muscle growth through a phenomenon researchers call the interference effect, where competing signaling pathways for endurance and strength adaptation blunt each other. But that's a dosage and a recovery problem, not a cardio problem. Moderate cardio improves insulin sensitivity, supports mitochondrial density, and improves recovery capacity between lifting sessions, all of which is massively important for building muscle long term. The men who get the leanest and hold the most muscle long term are rarely the ones avoiding cardio completely. They're the ones managing volume correctly across both strength training and cardio. So do this instead. Cap cardio to around 2 to 3 sessions of between 20 and 30 minutes weekly if your primary goal is muscle. In an ideal world, separate it from your lifting sessions by at least 6 hours where possible, or if you have to, put it on at the end. Myth number 3, you can only absorb 35 grams of protein in a single meal. The original research measured how quickly amino acids appeared in the bloodstream after a single serving, not the ceiling that your gut can actually process. Your gut absorbs protein well beyond 35 grams in one sitting. What changes is the rate at which the protein gets used for muscle building versus other processes like oxidation and gluconeogenesis. Practically, this means that total protein intake matters far more than obsessing over meal timing and distribution. Instead, do this. Hit your daily protein target across however many meals fits your schedule. 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. Stop splitting meals purely to chase a number taken out of context. Your body can actually absorb closer to 100 grams of protein per meal. Myth number 4, high reps, low weight is the way to drop fat. Increasing to high reps and dropping your weight while cutting calories is one of the fastest ways to lose muscle alongside fat. Once that muscle is gone, your metabolic rate will drop significantly, since muscle tissue accounts for a meaningful portion of resting energy expenditure. Heavy resistance training during a deficit signals your body to protect muscle tissue and preferentially pull energy from fat stores instead. So with that being said, do this instead. Keep your compound lifts heavy in the 5 to 10 rep range, even while cutting. Create your deficit through diet, not by lightening the bar. The most successful guys during a fat loss phase who build the most muscle and get the best physique at the end get stronger throughout the process, not weaker. Myth number 5, your blood work is normal, so nothing internal is wrong. Listen, standard reference ranges are built from population averages. That population includes people who are overweight, sedentary, and chronically unwell. Falling inside a wide range doesn't mean you're functioning optimally. It means you're not yet at the point of a diagnosable disease. Normal and optimal are different standards entirely. So instead, do this. Get a comprehensive panel that includes hormones, thyroid, inflammatory markers, nutrients, and metabolic health. Ask for the actual numbers, not just normal or abnormal. Myth number 6, carbs after 6 p.m. get stored as fat. Your body doesn't check the clock before deciding what to do with glucose. Fat storage is driven by a total caloric surplus and insulin sensitivity, not the hour on your clock or your microwave. If anything, some carbohydrate in the evening can support better sleep quality through its effect on serotonin and melatonin production. This myth persists because it's simple and it's easy to blame, not because it's accurate. So do this instead. place your carbs around your training and your personal preference. If evening carbs help you sleep and stick to your plan, use them. Myth number 7, low testosterone is just a normal part of aging and you have to accept it. Let's be honest, some decline with age is expected, roughly 1 to 2% each year from your 40s onward. The severity most men experience isn't inevitable. I've had clients in their late 40s raise their testosterone into the optimal range for a 25-year-old only with natural intervention, not through TRT, through fixing what was actually broken, leading to the decline in the first place. Listen, accepting decline as inevitable removes any reason to look for the fixable cause underneath it. So do this instead. Get your testosterone, estrogen, SHBG, and thyroid testing before assuming age is the explanation. Address body composition and sleep first. Those two alone move the needle more than most men expect. Myth number 8, more sets always beats fewer sets, regardless of recovery. Listen, volume drives growth up to a point. Past that point, without adequate recovery, additional sets stop producing adaptation and start producing fatigue. Two men doing the same program can have completely different optimal volumes based on what's happening internally. And one of the biggest things I see in men over 35 is them training way too much for their own unique recovery capacity. So do this instead. Track your performance week to week. If your numbers are stalling or dropping despite consistent effort, that's a recovery signal to reduce volume, not to push harder. Myth number 9, eggs raise your cholesterol to dangerous levels. Listen, dietary cholesterol has minimal effect on blood cholesterol for the majority of the population. The liver adjusts its own production in response, a process called cholesterol homeostasis. Eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense foods available to you. The men I see with cholesterol issues almost always have it driven by insulin resistance, inflammation, and excess processed carbohydrate, not the eggs that they eat on their plate. So do this instead. Eat whole eggs without guilt. If cholesterol is a genuine concern, get an advanced lipid panel that looks at particle size and inflammation markers rather than cutting out a nutrient-dense food based on total cholesterol alone. Myth number 10, you need to change your workout every week to keep the body guessing. Your body doesn't get confused by a program. It adapts to progressive overload over time. Constantly switching exercises before you've mastered them or pushed them hard enough limits your ability to track progressively and apply meaningful overload. So do this instead. Pick your core lifts and stay with them for at least 8 to 12 weeks. Progress the weight, reps, or volume systematically instead of changing exercises out of boredom. Myth number 11, red meat causes heart disease. The research linking red meat to cardiovascular disease is largely observational and heavily confounded by processed meat intake and overall diet quality, something several meta-analyses have flagged as a limitation of the underlying data. The men I work with who cut red meat entirely on this basis often see their iron and B12 status decline within months, which itself drives fatigue and poor recovery. The problem is most of the studies get confused between meats like bacon, pork, and burgers and things like grass-fed beef or lamb. So do this instead. Keep quality, unprocessed red meat in your diet and focus your attention on reducing actual processed meat and also refined carbohydrate intake too. Myth number 12, you need a protein shake within 30 minutes post-workout or you'll lose your gains. The anabolic window, as it's often referred to, is far more than 30 minutes. A 2013 meta-analysis in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition put the practical window closer to several hours either side of training. Total daily protein intake and consistency across the week matters far more than hitting a narrow window post-workout. So relax, you won't lose your muscle because your shaker was in the wash. So do this instead. Eat a protein-containing meal aiming for around 40 grams if possible within 3 hours of finishing your training. Keep it really simple. You don't need to stress about the clock. The 30-minute anabolic window is a lie. Myth 13, soreness the next day means you had a good workout. Soreness reflects an unfamiliar stimulus and microscopic muscle damage, not training quality. It's largely driven by eccentric loading and novelty, not effort level. You can build significant strength and muscle with minimal soreness once your body adapts to a movement pattern. Chasing soreness as a marker of progress leads men to overtrain and under-recover, which shows up directly in stored results and elevated cortisol over time. So do this instead. Judge your session by performance, not soreness. Are your lifts progressing? That's the metric that really matters. Myth number 14, training fasted burns more muscle than fat. Muscle breakdown during fasted training is minimal for most men, particularly with adequate protein intake earlier in the day. The bigger issue is training fasted while already under-recovered and underslept, which compounds cortisol output regardless of feeding state. The fasting itself isn't the villain. The context around it usually is. So do this instead. If fasted training works for your schedule and energy levels, keep doing it. Just make sure your sleep and total daily protein are dialed in so the context supports it. Myth number 15, sweating more means you're burning more fat. Sweat is a thermoregulation response. It reflects how hard your body is working to cool itself down, not how much fat you're losing. Any weight lost through sweat returns the moment you rehydrate. Do this instead. Track fat loss through measurements, photos, and performance over weeks, not sweat volume in a single session. The truth is, the men who get the best results aren't working harder than everyone else. They're working from an accurate picture of what's actually happening inside their body. That is what a proper blood panel gives you, not guesswork, data. And if you want to find out what's actually driving your results or lack of them, then check the description. You'll find a link that takes you to a video that explains exactly how our blood optimization system works to give you the data that you need to get the results that you deserve. It will help you cut through the noise, remove the guesswork, and find out exactly what your body needs to get back to optimal. And as usual, if you're not ready for that, that's absolutely fine. Just click subscribe for more videos like this as I share a new video every single week.